Integration of blockchain stuff into games is a very cool idea. Many things can be done with it. Currencies can be withdrawn from a game, sent somewhere else, converted, whatever. With the use of NFTs, items can be taken elsewhere, whether that's into a wallet or another context entirely that will recognize it, without needing something like an account link between services. Or imagine the Steam Marketplace, but with Steam cut out of the picture, and you're sending your item to someone else essentially in return for cash, without breaking any terms of service. You bought a bunch of cosmetics in a game, but your account got banned? That sucks. But now, you can at least sell those cosmetics without having to have your account. These are just a few of the ideas that could be implemented that I would love to see. But with all of my ideas, including plenty that I haven't shared, there's a common trend. They benefit the user, but not the devs, creators, or publishers. Or they may even be detrimental to them, stripping them of control over their products. Imagine for a second a generic MMORPG. Get that in your head. Now, it's flatly pay to win. You can buy anything, even the rarest drop from the highest tier raid. But the twist is, you gotta buy it from another player. You can't pay to get ahead. You may only pay to catch up with the best players. Now, something like this doesn't require crypto in any way. It could just use a setup akin to the Steam Marketplace, but add in blockchain magic, and you could get a scenario where someone who doesn't even play the game buys up all of the super powerful drops from players who have them, cranks the price, then resells to whales through a digital storefront. To me, that's really cool. The colonization of a digital world for real-life fame and fortune. Not gold farming for pennies or pretend status amongst NPCs. However, who, investing in a massive game project's creation and maintenance, would ever let that happen? You'd have to be an idiot. You would have made a game with a cash shop that you don't make money from or control. Anyone making a blockchain integrated game is inherently heavily incentivized to restrict or undermine all the benefits that integration would allow in the first place. Which is why, I think, when I made the rounds and tried out a ton of crypto and play-to-earn games, they tended to feature all the worst design choices of horrible pay-to-win mobile games. Buy power from in-game shops, extremely slow progress, energy timers, or arbitrary limits to play based on currency. With the blockchain and crypto integration as a "but you can sell your stuff and make money" gimmick to counterbalance all the garbage, rather than being a radical decentralizing innovation. One game I played a lot of was Blancos. It's probably the least viciously anti-gamer play-to-earn game because it actually is a game. You don't simply win, lose, succeed or fail based on power level. You play a collection of player-created party games, with skill being what primarily determines success. It's a little rough around the edges, but it can be enjoyable. Your Blancos, the little dudes you control, and their accessories are the NFTs, and they are cosmetic. The creators took the approach of treating the NFT side of it like collectibles. Think Funko Pops or Nendoroids. And yet, there is still the ability to level up power, though the impact is relatively mild compared to other games, and you can pay them for the XP to do that. The rate you get XP purely from playing is a drip, and the XP from their daily tasks is a light drizzle. You can mash your Blancos together and color them for some degree of creativity. It's neat and lets you make what you have truly unique or desirable, but again, you can do this quickly by paying or excruciatingly slowly for free, because going through this process requires currency. Similarly, there are some NFTs you can get totally for free just by playing via the unpaid track of the Battle Pass. But for the most part, you're going to be paying as little as $10 or as much as $350, for example, for a Burberry branded one. But hey, after all that, you can then pay the gas fee to transfer them over to the Ethereum chain, sell them on OpenSea, and maybe make a profit. Someone somewhere must have wished for a world where you can own your in-game items in a way that's similar to owning a real-world collectible like a Pokemon card. But as soon as they did, the monkey's paw curled up, and they were cursed to only have that if it was in a game with brutal monetization that near negates all the blockchain benefits. These games do everything they can to rope you in onto their platform and pay the creators, despite their novelty coming from the idea that you aren't roped in and will trade amongst players. And to be clear, I'm not saying all these people and companies are hyper greedy. Some are, for sure, but unfortunately, despite their world-creating powers, they aren't actually gods. Making the universe go round ain't free, and they've simply got to get paid somehow. So when monetization other games-as-a-service projects utilize are effectively handed off to the users, they've got to make up for that somewhere. If there's any chance of the gamer's dream version of NFTs in gaming, I think it's going to come from something with a subscription fee heavy enough and users plentiful enough that it makes up for the freedom in everything else players will be given, while also covering maintenance and use costs. And I don't see that realistically happening or succeeding if it does. Promotional things like one-of-a-kind NFT skins for winning a pro tournament that the winners can then sell, that could be neat. It would allow for more support for a game's competitive scene without costing the publisher as much as a big cash prize if they're smaller. But that's no NFT revolution. That's no digital world to plunder. And it doesn't even need to use NFTs for anything more than the hype it would get amongst crypto bros. Unless there's some kind of massive innovation, blockchain games will be a slightly better Steam marketplace that you can legitimately cash out from, attached to much worse games, relying on the enthusiasm of crypto fans rather than really creating something great. Blockchain games could be amazing in theory, but they won't be. And they may well be the future, but in the grim darkness of that future, there is nothing to do in games but chase a razor-thin margin after pumping all your cash into getting your playable monkey JPEGs ready for sale.